Hello, Panda Warriors, and welcome back to the channel. Today is Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas Eve to all of those of you who celebrate. Today, I wanted to read some Christmas stories. These are just two Christmas stories that I grew up on, that I really enjoy. And recently, I was reading them to my class, and I thought, you know what, I think you guys would also enjoy them because I feel like we forget to take time to connect with that kind of younger childhood Christmas wonder that's, I'm sure, within every single one of us. And so I wanted to try to spark that again with you guys today. Whatever age you are, you're never too old for a Christmas story. So we're going to start off with two of my favorites. We're going to start off with How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now, this one is actually one of my favorites when it comes to Christmas movies. I think the old version, not the Jim Carrey one, that one scares me. But the old cartoon version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas is my absolute favorite. So here's How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask me why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever his reason, his heart, or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm, lighted windows below in their town, for he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. They're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find a way to keep Christmas from coming. For tomorrow he knew. All the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys and then, oh, the noise, noise. If there was one thing he hated, it was the noise. Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down for a feast. And they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast. They'd feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was a dish that Grinch could not stand in the least. And then they'd do something he hated most of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and those Whos would start singing. They'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas singing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. For 53 years I've put up with this now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderfully awful idea. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. He chuckled and clucked. What a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I'll look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. And the Grinch looked around, but since reindeer were scarce, there were none to be found. Did that stop the Grinch? Ha! The Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max, and he took some red thread. He tied a big horn to the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, giddy up! And the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. All the windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were dreaming sweet dreams without care. When it came to the first little house in the square, this is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed as he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a moment or two, then stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings are hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first thing to go. Then he slithered and slunked with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns, bicycles, roller skates and drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn and plums, and he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed them in bags, all by one, up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He clanged out the icebox quick as a flash, and why, that Grinch even took the last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee, and now, grinned the Grinch, I'll stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree, and he started to shove, when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast, and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who was no more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this little Who daughter, who had gotten out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick that he thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, and I'll bring it back here. And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, and he got her drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who was in bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. And the last thing he took was the log for the fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar, on their walls leaving nothing but hooks and some wires. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 1:15 dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze. When he packed up his sled, he packed up their presents, their ribbons, their wrappings, their tags, their tinsel, their trimmings, their trappings. He had 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet. He rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Hoo-hoo to the Who's, he grinchiously hummed. He grinchiously humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up, and I'll know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open in a moment or two, and all the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put a hand to his ear. And he did hear the sound rising over the snow. It started out low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes, then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, were singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or another, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. Then he puzzled 3 hours, till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And then what happened? Well, in Whoville, they say, the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. The end. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was The Grinch That Stole Christmas. I'm going to move on. I'm going to do one more story because we have time for it. I'm going to do The Night Before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were all nestled all snug in their beds, with visions of sugar plums a-dance in their heads. And Ma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap, when out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw open the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave luster to midday of objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick that I knew in a moment that it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles on horses they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, come Comet, come Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they met with an obstacle, amount to the sky, so up on the horse-top with courses they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then a twinkling I heard on the roof, the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he slung onto his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was a chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know that I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, going straight to his work, filling every stocking, then turned with a jerk, and laying a finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh and to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, as they drove out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all, good night. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to those Christmas stories. Like I said, they were ones that I grew up on. I thought I just would share them with you this Christmas season because, I think that no matter what age you are, you're never too old for a Christmas story. So I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you tomorrow on Christmas Day for another video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you did, give it a big thumbs up. Comment section down below. Let me know what your favorite Christmas story is. Let me know if you've read these stories before or just what your favorite Christmas story is in general, if you do celebrate Christmas. And hit subscribe to be informed about the new videos. And other than that, I will see all of you wonderful people in the next video. All right, Merry Christmas Eve, and I'll see you all tomorrow.